If the surface has been stained with a solid color stain, or if multiple coats of semi-transparent stain have been applied in the past and not weathered sufficiently enough to be able to be removed by simply cleaning, the use of Defy Exterior Stain Stripper will be necessary. It's always a good idea to check the products first in a test area if you are uncertain of which to use. When using a stripper, the steps are very similar to that of the cleaner. However, the stripper is a biodegradable but caustic product. Caution should be used in handling the product. Always wear rubber gloves, protective eyewear, and if spraying, wear a respirator. As you calculate just how much stripper that you will need, figure that the stripper will cover 100 to 150 square feet per gallon. Keep in mind that some projects may require multiple coats of stripper to remove the entire residue, and you will need to consider this when calculating your needs. Wet all plants and vegetation down around the area that you are treating and rinse them completely after you are finished. It is a good idea to cover sensitive foliage with a drop cloth or painter's plastic to avoid any possible damage to the plants. As with the cleaner, wet the surface first and then apply the stripper. Allowing the stripper to work for 10 to 15 minutes. You can check to see if the stripper has sufficiently loosened the stain by scraping at a small area. If the stain comes off easily, it is ready to be rinsed. A power washer works best here, however. A garden hose, a stiff nylon brush, and a little elbow grease can also be used. Again, when using a power washer, keep your pressure at around 800 to 1000 psi and always clean with the grain of the wood. Once the wood is cleaned, it still must be brightened to restore it to its original beauty. When using the stain stripper, it is necessary that a brightener be applied, as it will act as a neutralizer for the stripper. Brightening is a simple, quick, and easy step that will make a tremendous difference in the final appearance of your project. To brighten the surface, you will need to use Defy Exterior Wood Brightener. This is an oxalic acid-based product. And, as when using the stain stripper, proper caution should be used, including the use of rubber gloves, protective eyewear, and, if spraying, a respirator. Defy Exterior Wood Brightener is formulated to be reduced 4:1 with water. So 1 gallon of concentrated brightener makes 5 gallons of finished product. To calculate just how much brightener you will need, figure that the diluted brightener will cover 100 to 200 square feet per gallon. Before beginning, again, wet down all plant life and vegetation. Wet down the area to be brightened and apply the brightener liberally to the surface again using a pump-up type sprayer. Allow the brightener to stay wet on the surface for 5 to 10 minutes and then rinse liberally with a garden hose. That's all there is to it. Now, let your project dry off for a day or two before proceeding to the next step of staining. In the staining process, regardless of which Defy wood stain that you have chosen for your project, you will need to apply 2 wet-on-wet coats of stain. Like other penetrating types of stains, if more Defy is applied than can easily be absorbed by the wood, the result will be a shiny finish that could over time result in some peeling. To figure out just how much you will need, take your total square footage and divide by 100 square feet per gallon. That should provide you with enough material for both the first and second coats. All Defy wood stains can be applied using a variety of methods, including airless spray, pump-up spray, brush, or pad applicator. Remember that when you are using a sprayer, it is important that you still brush the material out to achieve a uniform, even film and avoid over-application and puddling. When spraying, use caution to mask off all areas that you do not want the stain to get on. Once the stain is applied and dried, it is nearly impossible to remove from most surfaces. If you are staining a deck and rails are present, begin the staining process there first. If you are staining siding, always begin at the bottom and work towards the top. In either case, always work in sections and stain from one end of the board to the other without breaking in the middle.
Breaks in the middle will result in obvious visual imperfections to the final appearance of the job.
Beginning with the rails, use drop cloth, cardboard, or plastic film to cover the deck below the rails from drifts. Apply a single coat to the surface and allow it to absorb into the surface for approximately 10 to 20 minutes. After 10 to 20 minutes has passed, but before the first coat has been allowed to fully dry, apply the second coat. Allowing the first coat to dry completely before the second coat is applied can result in the stain being unable to penetrate into the surface, forming a film and eventually peeling.
With the handrails now done, proceed to the surface of the deck, again applying a full coat, allowing it 20 minutes to penetrate in, followed by a second coat. As a reminder, back brush both coats while they are wet if you are spraying or rolling to ensure proper penetration and to avoid puddling. When staining is complete, all tools can be cleaned with soap and water. Allow 24 hours for the stain to dry before putting any furniture back into place on the deck.
Once any Defy wood stain has been applied, maintaining its beautiful appearance is quite easy.
Periodically, as the surface begins to get dirty, simply wash it down with a mild detergent and water, much like you would the finish on your automobile. As the weather begins to wear away at the surface and color begins to be lost, a maintenance coat may be applied. To check the surface to see if it is ready for a maintenance coat, simply sprinkle a little water on it. If the water is easily absorbed, then it will also easily absorb the stain and it is ready to be treated. If the surface repels the water, it is simply not yet ready to be treated. Keep in mind that when you apply a maintenance coat, the result will be a color that is somewhat darker than the original appearance. Every time that you add another maintenance coat of stain, the surface will darken more. The first step in the maintenance process is to apply a coat of brightener in the same manner as was described earlier in the video. This will lighten any minor graying that has occurred to the wood and clean the surface of all contaminants.
Allow the surface to dry for 24 hours, followed by a single coat application of Defy wood stain in the same manner as it was described earlier in the video. Again, allow the stain to cure for 24 hours before putting your deck back into use. The process is just that simple. Defy wood stain, the toughest, most durable stains in the market today that keep your exterior wood looking beautiful year after year. Defy Epoxy Fortified Wood Stain is available in 5 colors: natural pine, light walnut, cedar tone, redwood, and driftwood gray. Defy Deck Stain is available in our 3 most popular colors: natural pine, light walnut, and cedar tone. Whether you're protecting a log home in the Rocky Mountains, a vacation home on the Outer Banks, or the deck of your cabin in Michigan, whatever the application, Defy Wood Stain is the one solution for all exterior wood that protects, beautifies, and lasts.